know I put that somewhere over here. I think it's... Okay, I know I put that... Okay, I know I put that somewhere over here. I think it's... Okay, I know I put that somewhere over here. Okay, I know I put that somewhere over here. Okay, I know I put that somewhere over here. Okay, I know I put that here. Somewhere over here. Here. Somewhere over here. Okay, I know I put that somewhere. Here. Somewhere over here. Or here. Okay, I know I put that somewhere. Here. Somewhere over here. Or here. I know I put that somewhere here. Or here. Put that somewhere here. Or here. I know I put that somewhere. Somewhere. Somewhere over here. Or here. Okay, I know I put that somewhere. Somewhere over here. Or here. Okay, I know I put that somewhere. Somewhere over here. Or here. Somewhere. Well, all right, people. So, yeah, I have no video right now. I've been troubleshooting this for the last, 20 minutes. Everything was fine. And then my video went dead, and it went black. And I've checked all my cables. Now earlier today, or yesterday actually, I decided, because we had a Zoom of Flute along, and you will see some graphics, don't worry, I've got stuff coming up for you. And we did kind of a chaos theme, like we're playing flutes, and one of the things we were trying to do is like dig in and just sort of take chances and go for it and make sounds and just be crazy. And so today I thought, why don't we just start with a theme of chaos? And now I'm laughing at myself because, as Roseanne said, get what you wish for, or what you said, ask and ye shall receive, I think. So yeah. Not that no video on a live stream video is kind of chaotic. It's not crazy. Think of it as a enhanced podcast right now. So we're gonna go. I have listening for you today. I've got some cool music from Brad Dutz. We've got a musical game. We've got some instrument features, but we're just gonna have to, for now, we're just gonna have to have audio, I guess. And we're gonna do the show. So welcome, everybody. If you have questions, put them in the comments section. I want to, again, acknowledge Roseanne Musser for helping out and monitoring and sort of helping to keep funneling your comments and questions to me so I can get them. So if you have any questions or you want to talk, you have a comment about chaos, and I think chaos is great. We'll get into a reading a little bit later from one of my books where I talk about improvisation and kind of the idea of like just taking a chance and stepping out and making a sound and starting with music as a leap of faith and welcoming the chaos. But we'll get to that later. For now, I'm going to go over to actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to stay here because I want to, I was going to do an instrument feature on bells today. So I'm just going to do it, and you'll have to, I can maybe open another browser window and so you can see what I'm talking about. Sorry, you guys, no video. So some of the bells that I was using today are these. And you can hear that they have a lot of sustain, and these are a set of 3 Agogo by Pete Engelhardt, and they're beautifully made. They're handmade by Pete. He's up in Berkeley, and he makes instruments by hand. He's been making metal instruments. Pete Engelhardt, you can look him up, and his instruments are really special, and he's not doing that much work anymore, actually. He's more of a welder and turned, instrument maker. And I wish I could show it to you. I have a few more of his instruments I'm going to break out in future Tuesday Musedays. But these are a set of 3 bells. And you can hear that they're very melodic and they are kind of tuned. And I don't have the notes right in front of me. But they are a set of 3. These are the Agogo, and they have a mount on them so you can mount them on a stand or you can hold them. You can also play them with a mallet. So I'm going to play these with a soft mallet. So I think that's, they're just really nice. And again, you guys know that I look for ways to use the instruments both percussively and melodically. So if you have a set of bells like this, you could pick another instrument that goes with it and play them together. And you can have a set of bells like that provides even a foundation. I'll give you an example. I'm going to put a little reverb on, and you could sing to these. You could sing over them. Okay, just a set of bells, that's all you need. All right, I'm gonna go back over to the desk. We've got some music. I've got a musical game. Let me switch my station. I'll be right there. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna leave the looper and see at the computer. All righty. So let me go. Well, I'm going to introduce the game, even though it's black. This is a game called Pieces of 8. Let me see who's... Yeah, hit that like button. This is a game from... can't believe this, you guys, but hey, it's going to be memorable because we're going to say, hey, remember when you did that show and you had no video? At least I have audio, I believe. Yeah. So this is a game called Pieces of 8, and it comes from the Drum Fun set. You guys, if you've been watching the show, and you know I'm featuring a game every show for a while. I mean, there's only about 22 of them right now, so I guess we'll do about half a year. And this one is called Pieces of 8, and you'll see the explanation in the video in a second, but what's happening is basically you invite people to choose a number. In this case, it's a number from 1 to 8, and they pick a number, and then they just play one sound on that number. So that's it, and you'll hear the effect. This works really great. Hey, David, thanks for the donation. That's awesome, man. Appreciate it. This works for tuned percussion. It works with boom whackers. You can do this with vocal percussion. You can do it with anything, found sounds. It works great, though, really with bells. It works fantastic, or a bunch of drums that are different pitches, anything like that. So here it is. This is called Pieces of 8. Okay, this is called Pieces of 8. And you all have different instruments, and what we're going to do is you're going to get a chance to play your instrument and make one sound on your secret number. And you can choose your secret number right now. So pick a number from 1 to 8. You don't have to tell anybody. You just have to play your one sound when I count your number. So I'll count through from 1 to 8, and I'll repeat that a few times. I'm also going to play the rattle on the beat so you can hear the beat. All right? And then you're just going to join in. And once we start, pick your number, and then listen to the melody. Just listen to the nice pattern that it produces, right? And then you can maybe figure who's playing on my number. Maybe there's somebody who's playing on your number, or who's playing before you or after you, okay? And see who's doing that. All right, here we go. I'll count, and you come in whenever you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Listen to the melody. Okay, all right. So that is. I was just troubleshooting to see if I could figure out why there's no video, but I can't. So that's from the Drum Fund. That's included at the courses level. If you guys are so inclined, you can sign up at patreon.com/Kalani and get access to a bunch of musical games. I like the musical games because they are they're fun, and they're not necessarily as skill intensive as drumming together. Sometimes they are. Like Pieces of 8 actually requires listening, timing, coordination. It's one of the more skill intensive games. Some of them are very low skill, some of them are higher, and that's what makes them great, because you can decide what's right for your group, whether it's children or older adults or people that are not necessarily playing music all the time, like your corporate event. But all of them are very doable, and they're fun, and they kind of develop different things. I think of the games as what I would call pre-musical or extra musical, meaning outside of music or aside from music building, because they focus on music-related skills, but not necessarily instrumental skills, right? If that makes sense. So in this case, you can do that with anything that you can make a sound with, including, this is my water bottle. How's that for some sustain? So that's my water. So anything that makes a sound. All right, we're going to go on right now and do some music listening. So what I've got for you guys today is not that. Hold on. I've got this. Now, Brad has done some videos for the channel. He did some really cool videos on bones, playing bones. And if you haven't seen those, go look at Brad Dutz playing the bones, and you will be truly amazed. But because today's theme is chaos, I kind of immediately thought of Brad, because Brad's music, he's a percussionist. He's up in Washington now, but he was in LA for a long time, studio musician, composer. And I want to share this with you guys because it's pretty cool. And if you're already looking at the titles, you'll see that his music is pretty interesting. But I want just listen to it. I'm going to stop talking. So track 1, Spongy Bark. Check it out. So I'm just going to chime in for a second. I wanted to point out that Brad's playing xylophone on this, and you can hear, I think it's bass, clarinet, and cello are also. So this is probably a trio or a quartet. All right, let's go on. I'm going to skip, I'm thinking about buying a chainsaw, and go to insulated potato wedges. All right, we're going to skip ahead a little. Let's go to mutilated glass. I'm going to skip ahead a little. Okay, let's go. I haven't listened to these before this, but how about When Manatees Attack, the title track? So pretty pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't think manatees would attack anything, but if they did, it might sound like this. So Brad's basically playing xylophones, vibes, and marimba mainly on this recording. Let's go to Soiled Palm in the background. And this is all composed. Here's some drums. And he wrote all this music. But it does have kind of a chaos vibe to it. So that's a little bit of Brad's music. I thought, if you guys hadn't heard of that, heard Brad's music, and yeah, I still have no video. Sorry. I know you guys miss me. You miss seeing me. I'm going to skip ahead to the reading slide because at least it's something to look at. But go check out Brad Dutz's music. He has a lot of music out, and I know some of it's at Bandcamp, some of it's on the iTunes. This is just on the iTunes store, and there's a lot. He's very prolific, and I think it's something that's different. It's definitely different, and Brad is a trippy dude, and he's an amazing player, amazing musician. So go check out his music, and just expose yourself to something that you probably wouldn't have, and at the very least, you'll have some interesting music that you can use, like if you're working around the house or something, you could put it on and clean the house to When Manatees Attack. All right, so we're going to move on now to a reading, kind of in the theme of chaos adjacent. I would say. This is from The Way of Music, Creating Sound Connections in Music Therapy by Moi. And this is towards the end of the book where I'm writing about kind of how to get started, with improvisation and music making. And I wrote a couple paragraphs. I wrote a lot, but I'm going to read you a couple paragraphs that I hope will resonate with you. And if you're somebody who when you think about making music in public, or you think about you're thinking about making music with other people, you get nervous, and you start to think about how people might think of you, or you think about embarrassing yourself, or something like that. So if that's you, if you have any of those kind of thoughts, this is for you. All right. And it's aimed at just helping you kind of get out of that mindset and into a creative mindset, into the musician mindset. So this little part, it's on page 134. It's called What Shall We Do? Another category of questions I sometimes field from my students is the hypothetical problem. These often include scenarios involving struggles of some kind, either between participants or between the participants and the leader. They begin with, what if, and what do you do if, So if you find yourself entertaining what if thoughts, like what if this happens and what if that happens, remember that you already have the skills you need to bring resolution to issues. So how is that? Well, because music making is self-organizing and problem-solving, and it's a problem-solving process in and of itself. You always have at least three choices. You can continue what you're doing, You can change what you're doing, or you could stop what you're doing and, just change to something else. You could just stop it and stop. So you can keep doing what you're doing, change it a little, or you can stop it. So if this or that does start to happen, trust yourself as a musician and support those around you. So this is a quote from Stephen Nachmanovitch out of his 1990 book, and it reads, "Once a musician has played something, anything at all, the next thing fits with that, or it fits against it. A pattern is there to be reinforced or modulated or broken." And that's basically what I just talked about, right? So it's either you're reinforcing it, you're repeating, you're adding to it, you're modulating it, meaning you're changing it, or you're breaking it. That's what we do that a lot in music. We play something and then we play against it, and we do the opposite. And you always have those choices in every moment. So you're never stuck. You're never out of, you never hit a dead end. So I'm going to read on a little bit, one more paragraph. "Situations exist in the world. Problems exist in the mind. Music only moves forward. We sometimes have a tendency to compare the present with the past. This is not only focusing on the irrelevant, it's unproductive, and it takes you out of the present, the only place life happens. Thinking about the future can also distract us from being in the here and now. Rather than think about what could go wrong, use your musical skills and techniques to move forward and shape the world the way you want it to be. If you're in a situation that you would rather not be in, don't worry about it. Just play your way out of it. If the rhythm falls apart, use that as an opportunity to experience silence and be glad that you now have a clear path ahead. If someone is creating tension in the music, just observe the effect and think, wow, that's a lot of tension. If someone appears to be playing in a way that is incongruent with their inner state, allow them to find their way in their own way. This is the beauty of improvised music making. There is no one way, just the way of music. So this book I wrote, I think it was published in let me look actually. Was it 2011 or earlier? Yeah, 2011. So that's 11 years ago. And it is really about music therapy techniques, but anybody can get this book and use it. It's a great book to get if you're a new improviser and you want to go back to the very beginnings of music and work your way up through very easy, very simple, what we call experientials. And so it's kind of a walkthrough experience of learning to improvise, but really learning how to music and be a musician in the purest sense of the word. Not a jazz musician, not a classical musician, not a big band musician, not a rock musician, just a musician. Somebody who plays with sound and works with sound and creates with sound. And that's all it is. And you can be an amateur. The word amateur has the same root as the word amor. It just means somebody who loves something. So when we say amateur, that's not a negative. I think that's a big positive. So be an amateur, but be a musician, and you can do that. So this book's available on Amazon. It's published by Saracen Publishing, but go to Amazon. You can find it there. And if it's out of print, just send a note to me or send a note to the publisher and ask them to print more. It's a small publishing company. It's a nice book, and there's videos on this. Actually, if you go to The Way of Music, we put all the audio. We used to have a CD with it, and now it's all available for free on YouTube. So all the audio from the book that used to be in a CD, it used to come with the book, but who has CD players anymore? We took all that audio and we put it on a YouTube channel, actually. And so all of that's already there, but it wouldn't mean much to you if you don't have the book. So you can get that if you want. Now, let's see. Do I have video still? No. It's time for Q&A. But are there any questions or answers? Now, let me just summarize some stuff. Yeah, thank you, Roseanne, for putting some links. And thanks again, David, for the contribution. Everybody's welcome to contribute what we have, super chat or super thanks. I don't know how it works. I hear it's there. But I do want to encourage you guys to also join us at Patreon. I mean, you get more over there. You certainly get a lot from the show, hopefully, even though we're having I want to call this the Black Tuesday show. It's just a week and a half early. You see how I'm trying to save it? Black Tuesday. Does it make you focus more on the audio though? When you don't have the video, you have to listen carefully. So any questions or answers? And we still have a little bit of time, but not that much. It's going to be a shorter show, but I'll go back and I'll make some music. I don't know if you guys liked that at the beginning. My goal was to try to make it sound like I was just getting ready and rummaging through my stuff. And then I just turned the looper on and I just sort of started to rummage around my stuff and loop that sound. And then I played to that and let it evolve out of chaos. So one of the things I really like about chaos, I'm just going to talk until somebody has a question. The thing about chaos is that in a way, chaos is kind of a judgmental word. It's sort of, it implies that there's something wrong, maybe. I don't think so necessarily. Chaos just means disorganized, right? It's disorganized. There's no patterns. And that usually bugs us humans because we like to see patterns. And we like predictability, we like stability, we like to know kind of what's coming up. We don't like things that are changing all the time. We get irritated and discouraged when we don't see patterns in things because patterns give us predictability. But the thing about chaos or randomness is that it kind of contains everything. And so it contains all sorts of possibilities. Whereas something that is steady, like a beat, even though it's clear and repetitive, it gives you a sense of security, but it doesn't contain as many possibilities. It's got fewer options. You've got fewer options. And that's okay. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying that there's a place for chaos and you can use it in your music making. And we do, at Flute Harvest, we do some live looping exercises called Playing the Forest. Maybe I'll do that as the outro music. And we just, kind of play random sounds and let it build up. And then you have sort of, a soundscape or a natural landscape or soundscape sounding piece of music. And that's okay. So chaos, if we start with chaos, sometimes if I'm doing a drum circle, I just have people start making sounds. I invite them to start making sounds random. And then I listen, and over time, people will organize themselves around a beat. And it's amazing. We don't have to always count people out or count people off, 1, 2, ready, play. We don't have to do that because people will automatically listen to each other and they will create order and they'll connect with each other. They will, as Stephen Maknanovich said earlier in the quote, they'll either align with something, they will play with something, or they'll modulate, or they'll play against something. And that's the way music is made. That's what happens when we play together. My name, Kalani. Kalani is a Hawaiian name, and somebody asked about what does it mean. So Kalani is actually part of my Hawaiian name, which I got from my grandmother. My grandmother was Hawaiian, born and raised full-on Hawaiian at grandma's house growing up. And Kalani means the heaven. Ka means the. Lani means heaven. So Kalani means heaven, the heaven. And my full Hawaiian name is Kaleo o Kalani. And Kaleo means the voice. So voice of heaven. So there you go. I guess that sets up a lot of expectations now. That's what it means, though. I want to thank my grandmother for giving me and my brothers Hawaiian names. That's. So I'm going to add one thing to this, just as an aside. In Hawaiian culture, Hawaii was colonized, right? And so at a certain point, a lot of the children there got Christian names, got their American names, their English names, their Christian names, and of course it's not this simple, but over time, they felt like if you didn't use your Hawaiian name, you would suffer. You could suffer. Now, of course, they were suffering for lots of other reasons, but it was tradition that the elders would give the children, or the kekis, the children, a Hawaiian name that would come to the giver, the elder. It would come to them in a dream, and they would call that your inoa po, your night name. And so I really like that. So and some of you may have a dream name or a night name, an inoa po, like a spirit name that you use, and a lot of people do that. Sometimes people feel that there's another name that they would rather use. And so they'll adopt a name that they find to be more meaningful, and they connect with more than their given name. And so we all have that option. So Kalani, Kaleo Kalani is my middle name, and I started using that as my professional name, when? In 1992, I think it was, 1992, 93. So, and then I did a legal name change in about 2011, actually, when I published The Way of Music. So that's the story. So if any of you, I have friends that use kind of a spirit, let's call it a spirit name. I have friends that use their spirit names, and sometimes people change their name either legally or just casually. And my younger brother, I'm going to tell you his Hawaiian name. I have a younger brother. He's about 3.5 years younger. His Hawaiian name, okay, get ready. His Hawaiian name is Ke'eli'i Pu'uvaialoha, and that means king with a gentle heart. And it's a beautiful name, although it's a little too much, a little too long, but that's an awesome name. All right. Any other questions? Does the book address percussion or music in general? From Rebecca. It addresses music in general, and it does address rhythm, but it's not. The book is not about instruments. The book is about music making. So it deals with music. It deals with playing music, like rhythm, tone, timbre, volume, dynamics, form. We get a little into scales, a little bit into melody and harmony, a little bit. But it's not. I want to be clear that the Way of Music book is not about a style or a genre like jazz. When we think about improvisation, sometimes people think about jazz or something, and that's not what it's about. It's about just being a musician and getting to be familiar with music, so you can have a more intimate relationship with music, and you have more options available to you when you want to make music. So rather than learning an instrument, you're learning how to be musical, and then you can be musical on anything that you want, if that makes sense. And Victor Wooten, in his book, The Music Lesson, talked about one of his characters in there. It's a fiction book, but it deals with a lot of great musical lessons. I recommend it. It's called The Music Lesson, Victor Wooten. And one of his characters says to his student, he says, "I'm not a guitar player or a bassist. I'm a musician. I don't play an instrument. I play music. And I pick up different instruments to do that." And I think that's a really great way to look at it. And I think you could transfer that kind of, as I have, I feel like I do, I think you could transfer that same idea to spirituality. And while there's nothing wrong with, picking one spiritual practice or religion, that's not the point. That's kind of like playing in the instrument, right? That's like saying I play guitar, or I play bass, or I play clarinet, or I play conga drums. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I like to think of myself as, a spiritual person, and I can do all these, I can I have a lot of things I can do. It's not about the instrument. Just like it's not really about the religion, it's really about how you, it's about your relationship and your spiritual relationship and your spiritual life. And however you get there is fine. So sometimes, like Sri Ravi Shankar said once, enlightenment is the banana and religion is the banana peel. So what we're going for, the religion is kind of like one formula to get there. All right. Doss, this is for Cornelius. Doss is actually another name that I adopted. That's not my original last name, but I used Kalani for a lot of years, but you can't just go through life with one name unless, I guess, you're Sting or Madonna or Prince. You have a lot of people around you that are going to book your airline tickets and your hotel rooms and your rental cars. You can't do it with one name. So I adopted Doss as a last name because it's just simple and short. And I also appreciate the Indian community and the yoga community. And I was playing a lot of music for yoga and doing more yoga at that time, about 10 years ago. So that was a name that I just used. And that is also a name that's associated with spirituality on some level. And I appropriated it. Did I misappropriate it? I don't know. I don't. You could tell me. All right, we're going to go to our events calendar. And you know what? Next time I'm going to share with you some more stories about the Yanni experience, because somebody asked about that last week, and I have photos, you guys, and I'm gonna show you some photos next time and talk about some of the life on the road. But for right now, we're gonna go. We're gonna give some love to our friend Taylor, and he's got an event coming up on the 19th, this Saturday, in person or Zoom. You can see the details right there. Go to holygoat.com, drum meditation, and check that out. Taylor has done some videos for World Drum Club. He's an amazing djembe player, great teacher. If you're in the Chicago area, look him up and go check him out. Other than that, we've got our usual drum circles, and I'll just let you look at this. We've got Jenny Swerdlow in the East Bay Area, drum.com with 3 M's, David Rogers, drumlove.com in the Modesto area, and then remo.com with weekly drum circles online. And I don't know if they're opening back up to in-person events up in their Valencia. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're doing live events, but you can go there and look. And then if you guys know of any events, percussion events coming up, or you have any favorite resources that you want to share, please let us know right now, or send a note to Roseanne, or join us at patreon.com/Kalani and let us know over there. Because one of the things we really like to do here at World Drum Club is to share information. That's one of the reasons we're here. And that's one of the reasons I really appreciate all the support, because you guys are making this happen, all of our patrons. And whenever you leave a tip or you throw some money in the tip jar, it goes to the work that all of this takes to put together. It's quite a bit of work behind the scenes. And of course, it's nice when our equipment doesn't break, or it's nice when our equipment works. But even if it doesn't work, we're still here. We're still showing up. So thank you for showing up. Thanks for the patrons of World Drum Club and the people who are chipping in right now. Of course, we have our percussion hangs. The next one is November 26th, the week after Thanksgiving. That gives you time to recover. And that is 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific time, Sundays. And then, of course, you can see us at patreon.com/Kalani. You guys know the drill. You can connect with us over there. And I'm going to go back and play some more music as an outro. I want to thank you guys for being here. I'm going to go play a little bit more. Oh my goodness. What can I change this to? Let me change this message. Hold on. All right. Big thank you to everyone for showing up today. I'm going to play a little more music and we'll play you guys out. If you have anything else you want to add, do it in the comments, in the discussion. Thanks again for chipping in, you guys. Really appreciate it. Everything helps, and we appreciate that exchange of energy. I hope you guys got something out of this. Remember all the stuff, Brad Dutes, The Way of Music, Drum Fun, events coming up, Taylor's thing, drum circles, percussion hang, yeah, everything that we're doing, and we'll play a little bit more, and we'll see you guys next week hopefully with working video. All right, I'm gonna go back and make a little more music. Okay. So I'll go ahead and use the bells that I had earlier, and let's get something going with those. Okay, let's see. I'm going to stop for a second because I don't know what happened with my looper. It's very strange. Something happened with the tempo. Let me try another track and see if it will behave itself. Oh yeah, it's set up on 16 measures. It's so weird, you guys. I am having. All right, let me change that. Yeah, okay. The loop shouldn't have been 16 measures long. So let's try that one again. for tuning in this week, everybody. We'll see you next week.